Welcome children once again to the next session of our chapter Conservation of Plants and Animals. In the last video or previous video, I had made you understand this picture that how the plants and animals are interconnected with each other. That is how biotic and abiotic factors which leads to the formation of ecosystem are interconnected. Children are interconnected with each other, and I think that children I have been successful in building the concept in your mind between the biotic and abiotic factor and between the interlink or interdependence between the plants and the animals, birds, snake over here, air, soil, grasses over here, that how they are interlinked. In the last class we had, in the previous class we had also discussed about the food chain and the food web. If the grass is not there, then I had made you understand the rabbit who is dependent upon the grass, maybe it's somewhat deer also, will also be no more or will be in trouble, and the one who is dependent upon the rabbit or lion, or you can say something else, will be also no more or will be in trouble. So they are dependent upon each other, that one is being eaten by the another. If one of them gets disturbed, then whole of the chain also gets disturbed. By the help of this also, children, I think you are clear now that how they are dependent upon each other. Now children, as we all had studied a large number of terms over there, so today we will recapitulate 2 or 3 points over here, and then we will continue our chapter. Okay children, so let's recapitulate some of the important terms. One of the important term is, children, here ecosystem. All these terms need to be learnt by you children. Ecosystem, you can say biotic components, that is living components. Living components and abiotic components, you can say non-living component. Interacting children with each other. What I am telling children, that interacting with each other. What this biotic and abiotic factors are, what they are doing, they are interacting, that is they are interlinked with each other, leads to formation of ecosystem. Is it children clear what I have tried to make you understand about the ecosystem? Now children, I will proceed further with one of the most important term. You can say biodiversity. One of the important term, children, biodiversity. It is, children, variety of living organisms. Variety of living organisms found on Earth. What is this biodiversity, children? Variety of living organisms found on Earth. Okay children, now we will move to, you can say we will move to you can say, as I have discussed you, let me recall: ecosystem, biodiversity, then biosphere. Biosphere, children. What is this biosphere? It is the part of the Earth's surface. It is the part of Earth's surface and atmosphere in which plants and animals can live. Is it visible, children? That the part of the earth's surface and atmosphere in which plants and animals can live. All these three terms I wanted you children to get it learnt by heart, because all these three terms will be repeated again and again a number of times. Now, as we are going to continue our chapter, very important terms will be discussed today. That is, the important term is, children, that is national park. As in the last video I had told you, national park, wildlife sanctuary, biosphere reserve. All these three important terms, children. What is this? National park, wildlife sanctuary, and biosphere reserve. All these three important terms are going to be discussed by you, or not by you, sorry children, it's going to be discussed by me right now. As national park, wildlife sanctuary, biosphere reserve, what are they? What are the basic differences between them? Unless and until you don't know the basic differences between them, you won't be able to write or you won't be able to explain it clearly. Because all these three have the basic same function, to protect our flora and fauna. The similarities between them, all of these three, are that their motive is the same. That is, what is their motive? To protect flora and fauna. What is this flora word, children? Flora, that is plant life in an area, and fauna, that is animal life in an area. So all these three, the main motive is to protect the plant life of an area and the animal life of an area. So that you can, children, all these three of them, all these three children, all these three of them, that is national park, wildlife sanctuary, and the you can say biosphere reserve. The basic concept is to you can say is to protect flora and fauna. Okay children, to this flora and fauna. What is this flora? I will give you the definition proper afterwards, but you can, for right now, you can learn it. Plant life in an area, and fauna is animal life in an area. These two children, flora and fauna, need to be protected because their number are decreasing, keeping on decreasing, coming in endangered zone, or going to be extincted. Okay children, now if they are not protected, if the day will come that our coming generation would not be able to see the particular species of plants and particular species of animals, as they will be no more. They are in the danger zone. So they need to be protected, and the motive of all these three, that is national park, wildlife sanctuaries, and biosphere reserve, is to provide protection or to preserve our flora and fauna. But still there are differences between them. Still children, we have the differences between them. You can just children understand it with the help of a diagram. I'm going to take a fresh page so that I can make you understand what I'm telling you to understand. You just consider it to be a 3 layers. Outer one children, then inner one, a medium, and then a small one. Okay, children? Outer one, middle one, children, and the inner one. Outer one you can just take it to be a transition zone, and then you can cut it to be named as buffer zone, and then you name it to be a core zone. After explaining them, children, I will make you understand that how these three are interrelated with the national park, wildlife sanctuary, and the biosphere reserve. Okay, children, now I am taking them one by one. As you consider it to be, children, as all these three layers you consider whole together as to be a biosphere reserve. Biosphere reserve. Simply, without knowing anything, with the help of this diagram only, children, if I will ask you something on the basis of your IQ, what you are going to answer? With the help of this figure only, children, I am talking about three layers, that is national park, wildlife sanctuary, and biosphere reserve. If all of them are considered to be a biosphere reserve, then you can say that wildlife sanctuary and the national park comes under the biosphere reserve. That is, biosphere is a bigger area under which comes the wildlife sanctuary and under which comes the national park. Okay, children, let's discuss them one by one. If I am going to consider about the transition zone. Okay, children, transition zone. Transition zone. Here, children, in this zone, you consider it to be transition zone. Children, you consider it to be a biosphere zone, a big area under which comes the wildlife sanctuary and the national park. Here, in this transition zone, children, human activity is restricted, but not totally. Human activity is restricted here, children, but not totally. Small villages are there, firewoods can be collected, local human activities are allowed and not totally prohibited. Okay, children, so it to be considered as the transition stage, you can be considered as biosphere reserve, where human activity is restricted but not totally. Here human activity is restricted, children, but 100% not. Some of the activities are allowed to be done, that some small villages outerwards it is there without disturbing our flora and fauna, and firewoods can be collected that for their fuels. Local human activities are allowed, not you can say not 100%, but some of the human activities are allowed to carry out over here. Okay, children, then we will talk about the core zone. Okay, we are now going to discuss about the core zone of this diagram. Core zone. Here, total human activities, it is just opposite to the transition zone, children. Is just opposite to the biosphere reserve. Core zone is just opposite. Here, totally all the human activities are prohibited. Total human activities prohibited. Full restriction is over there. Fully restricted. This core zone is actually, children, national park is a small area. You can say this core zone is, children, is actually a national park. That is small area to protect particular plants and animals, and restriction with a number of restrictions. This can be, this small area, children, core zone can be considered to be as national park. With simply, children, I am again coming you back, that is biosphere reserve, that outermost bigger zone under which comes the all other zones. It is a restricted area but not fully restricted area. Some of the human activities are allowed here to be done with the permission. But here, children, core zone, which is the smallest zone over here in this biosphere reserve, it is, children, the national park. Here full human activities are restricted. Full human activities are restricted. Not a single human activity, only the researchers, or you can say scientists, or you can say the one who is there to take care of that is allowed to move there, none other children. Then children comes the buffer zone. Children comes here over, we will continue it with the buffer zone. Children, this buffer zone, that is inner to the transition zone and outer to the core zone. Buffer zone, that is the middle layer here over here. This children comes, this zone, buffer zone, children comes in medium to the transition zone and the core zone. That is in between to the biosphere reserve and the national park. That is not fully restricted also and not fully let free also. Here medium activities allowed to be done. That is collection of firewood can be done. Houses can, but houses cannot be built over here, children. Human activities such as any construction work also cannot be done. Only local human activities which doesn't harm our flora and fauna can be done. This zone is, children, equivalent to our wildlife sanctuary. Okay, children, with the help of this diagram, children, I simply wanted to explain you, children, I just simply wanted to explain you that how this buffer zone, or you can say, children, national park, wildlife sanctuary are interlinked with each other, but are quite different from each other also, children. If you consider it to be, children, with the help of this diagram I am telling you, children, if you consider to be a larger area and then a smaller area, a smaller area over here, children, then what is this? Then this, children, this area, this whole of the larger area is, children, biosphere reserve. Biosphere reserve. Got it, children, what I am telling? And this, children, this one, you can say this one, you can say this one is, children, wild life sanctuary. Learn the spelling, children. Wildlife sanctuary. And this smaller area within the wildlife sanctuary, children, you can say is national park. Okay, how they are interlinked with each other. If we take a big area where a variety of animals and plants to be protected, that is, this is a bigger area where a variety of plants and animals needs to be protected, is the biosphere reserve. Got it, children? What I am telling to explain you out. Now again, don't get panicked. Again, I am going to explain it out one by one so that you get all the clear concepts over there. If I am coming to the children, you can say I am coming over here with the biosphere reserve. One by one, children, I am coming once again. Biosphere reserve. Biosphere reserve. Children, as you all know, what is this biosphere reserve? And international protected area designated and assigned by UNESCO. UNESCO. What is the, children, full form of UNESCO? Do you all know? It is United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization. Got it, children? What is the full form of UNESCO? I have read once again. I am repeating: an international protected area designated by UNESCO, meant to have a balanced relationship between man and nature. Relationship between what children? Man and nature, along with promoting sustainable, which can exist, sustainable development. That is human activity conducted without depletion of natural resources. That is all those human activities which are completed without any. That is, biosphere can also be, children, explained as notified area which cover a large area of land that may cover multiple national parks, sanctuaries and reserves, as well as areas which are meant for conservation of biodiversity of specific area. Just got it clear? It is a notified area which cover a large area of land. A large area of land is over, children, covered. That may, I have explained you with the help of diagram, that may cover a multiple of national wild sanctuaries, national parks over there, so that flora and fauna, that is various plants and animals of a particular area, can be protected. This is all what, children? Biosphere reserve. Children, one of the most important point you have to remember, that there is about 669 biosphere reserve in 120 countries. Okay, children, how many are there? Are about 669 biosphere reserve in 120 countries. Got it? Indian government, children, here Indian government has established about 18 biosphere reserve in India. Indian government has, children, established about 18 biosphere reserve in India. You can, children, just don't get confused. There is 669 biosphere reserve in 120 countries. But in India, 18 biosphere reserves are there by the Indian government. In India, it is over there, children. And 10 of these 18, children, is based on UNESCO Man and Biosphere Program list. Okay, out of these, children, 10 biospheres are, children, out of these 18. What is this? Out of these, children, out of 18, 10 biospheres, okay, children, is based on UNESCO, that is Man and Biosphere Program list. And some of these are, children, some of them are, children, you can, famous ones are Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve. Next is, children, Sundarban Biosphere Reserve. Or you can say, children, Sundarban Biosphere Reserve, Nanda One I have left. Nanda Devi, I remember it. Nanda Devi Biosphere Reserve. And then children, you have Gulf of Mannar. Once again, one of also I remember, Gulf of Mannar Biosphere Reserve. Okay children, all these three are, that is Biosphere Reserve. The points which you have to remember, the definition over here, and there is 669 Biosphere Reserve. This figure has to be learnt by you in how many countries? In 120 countries. And Indian government has established 18 Biosphere Reserves in India. Out of 10 has been registered by the UNESCO, that is Man and the Biosphere, which is at the short can be written as MAB, MAB also. 10 map. MAB, it is there in the book, Man and the Biosphere. And out of these, some of the famous ones are over here children. Nilgiri Biosphere Reserve, Sundarban Biosphere Reserve, Nanda Devi Biosphere Reserve, Gulf of Mannar Biosphere Reserve. Got it children? So get it, read it, view it, and read from your book again and again, and get learnt the definition as well as the figures which has been given by me. Now children, I come back or I just proceed further after the Biosphere Reserve. We will talk about children the National Park. National okay children, National Park is an area owned and protected by the national government for the conservation of biodiversity. Human activity is not permitted here children. Human activity is not permitted over here. Got it what I am telling? It is an area owned and protected by the national government. For what? For, ask question for it to yourself, for conservation of biodiversity. I have given you the definition of biodiversity. Okay, human activity is fully restricted. It's fully restricted over here, just opposite to the Biosphere Reserve. There human activity is not fully restricted, but here in the National Park, the human activity is not permitted. Any of the human activity is not permitted over here. And one of the famous, which you have to remember over here, the Jim Corbett National Park was the first national park in India. It was established in the year 1935. Which park children? Jim Corbett. This you have to remember. Jim, Jim, CORBETT, Corbett, NATIONAL, National Park. Okay children, this Jim Corbett National Park, which was the first national park in India. Get it remembered, the questions are asked. First national park in India. It was established in the year 1935. In the year 1935 children, it is there in your book, that a national park is a reserve of land usually declared and owned by the national government. It is protected from most human development works and pollution. Here, human activity is restricted. National park being protected areas help in conserving endangered species. Okay, children, of animals as well as plants. They are therefore very useful. The very important term, the Jim Corbett National Park was the first national park in India. It was established in the year 1935. The largest national park in the world is the Northeast Greenland National Park, which was established in 1974. Get it learned, children? The Kaziranga. Get it learned? All the points over here are very important. All the points over here are, children, very important. The Kaziranga National Park has 2/3 of the world's great one-horned rhinoceros. Do you know this? When you go to the zoo, you see it over there. One-horned, ek sing population. Among the protected areas in the world, it is having one national park is having the 2/3 of the world's great population over here. Among the protected area in the world, Kaziranga boasts of the highest density of tiger. The tiger is the maximum over there and was declared as Tiger Reserve in 2006. This is also very important. It is asked. That is Tiger Reserve in 2006, Kaziranga. The park is also home to large breeding population of not only for tiger, elephants, wild water buffaloes and swamp deer. Bandipur National Park, in the short form it is written, children, BNP, is one of the India's best known protected area and is an important reserve for the Project Tiger. Very important, very important. Bandipur National Park, BNP. It is one of the India's best known protected areas and is an important reserve for the Project Tiger. It is located in Karnataka in the South India. In the book you will see the children, the figures are over there. Okay, all these points over there. The national park, what is the definition? The first national, the Jim Corbett National Park, Kaziranga National Park, for what it is famous for. Then Tiger Reserve, it is not only for the tiger, it is for the elephant, wild water buffaloes and many other animals. Then Bandipur National Park, children, BNP, it is one of the India's best known protected areas and is an important reserve for the Project Tiger. It is located in where, children? Karnataka in South Africa. Got it, children? So I think it's enough for today, because you will not, if I'm going to teach you more, then you will not get the points in your mind. So in the next video, I will deal with you wildlife sanctuary. That is areas marked by the government for the protection of wild animals. Limited human activities are allowed there. Okay, children, limited, which is also a part of the biosphere reserve. So read it, view the video carefully. If any of the term is not understood, view it once again, read the book, underline the words, try them to find out the meanings of your own. Because if you are doing your work on your own, you are getting the answers to various other questions also, which are not, or you are not paying attention to that. And if you are still you don't get the answer to those questions, then you ask to me. Okay, children, take care and study all the points which has been given by me, so that you are able to answer the questions which are going to be given as homework.